What's happening, party people? I am in the Chicago area. Last night I stayed in Elgin, I believe it's called. Hopefully I'll get done with the vehicle in that area, get closer to the city today, and help a couple more people by nightfall, and then just take care of as many people as I can one by one. Should be here through Saturday. Then I got a doctor's appointment on Sunday, which I think is kind of strange. I need to confirm that. But in today's video, I was back on that S70 learning how to look at the wiring diagram, learning how these things function, and just had a thought yesterday that might help that guy till I get a wire harness for him. So, and if you don't know it, at the end of the video, there should be a pop-up that shows the related videos in these series. So if I did something in the video that there's detailed instructions for, of course, you can see the link in the description area, linking you to the detailed instructions on how to do that. Plus, at the very end of the video, when the video ends, a pop-up should come up with icons to those videos as well. So I've been doing that for years. A lot of people don't watch till the end, so they don't know that. But hey, I appreciate you watching, appreciate your support. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert. That's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. During my walk, I'm wondering how did you manage to drive your vehicle on its side? What's going on here? It's not good to flip your vehicle on its side. Aye. Kicking off the Tinker Day. I'm not sure if this is round 4 or 5 of this car. The owner had somebody replace the alternator and then it started running like crap. It's given a code that it has some kind of fuel injector problem, but when I looked at the live data, it thought the throttle position sensor was at 99%. I chased some wires, chased some grounds, and now it thinks the throttle is at 25% when it should be at 10%. So it's still running rich, dumping gas out of the tailpipe, smoking like crazy. What I'm going to do next is disconnect the alternator, start the car, and see how it runs. Somebody suggested maybe the alternator is giving some kind of bad power out, dirty power or something. So I'm gonna pull the leads on the alternator and fire the car up, running off the battery, and see if it runs okay. We have the alternator disconnected. We're going to start the car, see if it runs. When I have to hook the battery back up, let me tighten that down. So this P0270 code, I googled it again, and it states that the ECU is not able to control the number 4 injector. So I unplugged the number 4 injector, plugged it into this injector, and I get nothing. I don't feel the injector clicking. And this is the injector that was in the car. So I plugged it back in, and I put my finger on it, couldn't feel it anyway. I unplugged number 5, plugged number 5 into this injector, and I could feel this injector clicking. So something's going on that number 4 injector is not pulsing. Now, I'm not saying that dilutes the fact that I'm still having throttle position sensor that's a high reading, but this is something that needs to be addressed, because it's possible that this injector is staying open because it can't control the pulse, and because it's staying open, it's causing the car to run way too rich. So I'm going to check the wires from the ECU to this number 4 injector, see if the readings are fine, or if I may have a broken wire in this connector. The guy that replaced this alternator was sitting on this engine. So maybe he broke a wire, but it doesn't look broke, but who knows, it could have broke the connector or something. So let me go ahead and pull up that wiring diagram and see what I can find. According to the wiring diagram, 8.6 through 8.10 is the fuel injectors. They all have this GN wire, which is a common power, going over to pin 27 on the A connector of the ECU. And then you have a dedicated wire going from the injector to the ECU. Number 1, it appears, goes to 10. Number 2 goes to, looks like 38. Number 3 goes to 24. Number 4 goes to 23. And number 5 goes to 8. So I'm going to go check that. Make sure number 4 has a good wire from the ECU to the plug. And it looks like a green-black wire. Green wire with a black stripe on it. But I'm not sure what GN is. Let me see what color GN is. GN is green, GR is gray. So all of these ground wires are green for these injectors. And number 1 is a gray wire. Number 4 has a gray wire with a black stripe. So let's go check this out. And that does concur. All of these injectors have a green wire that's a constant power. And number 1 has a gray wire. And number 4 has a gray wire with a black stripe. So let me get to the ECU plug and check that out. The wiring checks out. And the ground is working to the body and to the engine. So that seems to be fine. I don't know if disconnecting the alternator is as good as totally undoing it from the belt. So I'm gonna undo the belt and then start it again and see if I'm better off. Let's go start it again, see if we got any issues. Feel like it's missing. See what we got here. Man, it's stabilized a lot better. Throttle position is down a little bit more. I don't know what's going on with this throttle position. Man, that thing is hanging up a lot. Throttle response is real slow. Let me unplug number 4 injector and plug it into my dummy injector and see if it's pulsing. Then I'm gonna run through all 5 injectors, see if any of them are not pulsing. With the ignition on, I'm trying to check power to the injectors. Number 3 and number 5 had 0.08. Number 4 only had 0.03. So I'm not sure if that's an issue or not. So let me try to jack the car up a little bit and check some more ground wires. Still digging, trying to find some loose ground wire or something somewhere. The ground wire from the battery to the transmission is a little frayed. Not that bad, a little frayed. I'm gonna pull this headlight and look to see if the wire harness under here is grounded, because that may have broken in the accident. We did some welding down there. I don't know if that's been put back on. So let me pull this headlight, see if I can see that, and then add a ground to that throttle position sensor. And man, I don't see any ground issues with this injector harness, but let me see what's going on under here. After troubleshooting with my mechanic in Albuquerque, Thomas, we realized that this number 4 injector is grounded right now. If I check for continuity, I got resistance in here. I hit the ground wire there, I touch it to the body or to the car, and I get reading. It should be open, but it's grounded. But it's not grounded under the ECU. See here, got some resistance there, and I got resistance on the chassis. I don't have that on these other injector plugs. I'm gonna check that back at the ECU as well. Nothing there. So let me check, see if this wire at the ECU is doing the same thing. Well, I had another weird thing happen. As soon as I unplugged the computer, that injector lost the ground. So that injector only gets its ground when I plug the computer in. So I'm gonna take one of these computers and test it on another vehicle, see if the computer is damaged. I don't know if I fried every computer that I plugged into this car, or if there's something else that's wrong with this car, that as soon as you plug the ECU in, even without the battery connected, that injector gets a ground on number 4. So that injector's grounding out as soon as the ECU's plugged in. I don't know why. I gotta figure that out. Yeah, learning them wire diagrams was a little tricky for me. Something I've been avoiding for about 30 years. Finally starting to learn, starting to understand the color codes, how to find where these wires connect, different things like that. And using, of course, the multimeter to check the wires, make sure they're good and things. That car gets a ground to the fuel injector as soon as the computer's plugged in. So there's something going on there that needs to be figured out. I haven't figured it out yet, but I suspect that there's some damage in the wire harness, so I'm going to have to replace that wire harness. Other than that, I got some coolant hoses to replace today, parking brake situation, and a couple other things. So I'll be busy today. Hopefully it won't take me too long on this V70. Got the fuel pump replaced yesterday and started on the parking brake situation. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your support. Hope you all have a great day and a great week.